Yellow. Hey guys, it's Matt again. And after posting the last video and getting such a positive feedback on YouTube from the community, I've decided to start a tutorial on how I made and my thought process behind coding it. I would like also to point out that I'm no expert whatsoever in Pygame or Python or whatever. You know, I'm just fresh out of uni, got a job now, and starting my career. But I decided it will be interesting to me and to people to get this project done together. And so here I am. Um, I'm sure I'm sure people out there will know a lot more than I do. And to be fair, I'm counting on it because we are here to learn together, and I'm happy to take any feedback and refactor the code, and explain to people if I explain it wrong, or just to adapt the way I'm thinking because that's what code is for. No one's born knowing everything, and I think we are here on a journey to learn, and so it is. So it begins. Um, I'm not sure how long or how many videos it's going to take for me to see this project to the end. It's quite a big project. Remember when I started it, it took me about 3 months um, coding non-stop. Obviously, a lot of things that we're going to do now is going to be different than what I did in the past because a lot of things broke, and obviously I've gone through this once, and now going through the second time, I've got a clear view. Um, so yeah. Um, I also expect people to have a basic knowledge, basic understanding of Pygame and Python because I won't be teaching the basics. I don't even know the basics myself. um, so you can follow along, and you'll be quite beneficial for you if you code along as well, because I think that's the only way you can actually get to learn, right? Because like I know for myself, when I watch your videos on YouTube, I think I know it, and when I have to code it, I fucking know nothing. Um, but obviously, when you code along, you get to try to change things in the code, and you see how it works. You get a better understanding. But obviously, it's up to you. The code is going to be there. The video is going to be there. Um, Last thing, in my previous video, a lot of people asked me about my my desktop background, and it's a software. Um, and I know people are gonna ask it again, so I'm gonna get this out of the way. So it's a software called I'll show you, Wallpaper Engine. You have to pay for it. It's on Steam. I don't know how much it is, but this is how it works, right? I've got two screens set up. You can only see my right screen, which is the Matrix one. You can install different wallpapers, and you got the Discover tab here, which is where you can search for wallpapers, right? So the community creates them and uploads them, and you can just download them. Um, I think that is the most random ones here. I don't even know what I want. I was gonna search one for demonstration. So let's say we want Naruto, right? Who does like Naruto? And then you get loads of different wallpapers. You can click on them like this, and it shows how the animation plays. You can subscribe it, and then you can put it on. If I remember right, the last one I had was this one here, which quite a lot of people enjoyed it. So yeah, you can see it animates. I'm gonna go back to the Matrix one because it's my favorite at the moment. Right, and each one of them has different configurations, and you can mess about here. I know a lot of people liked it. I like it myself, so there we go. The second thing, we're gonna be using PyCharm for this, right? I think PyCharm has such a clean UI. It's easy to use. People can understand well. I personally been using for a long time. I like it, and I won't change. I don't think so, anyways. You're gonna get this. We're gonna get this started. For now, it's gonna be a very basic. We're just gonna get the project started out, Pygame installed and stuff. So how we're gonna call this is gonna be online. Oh no, wait, sorry, apologize. So I'm gonna start a new project. That project's gonna be called multiplayer game. We're gonna use the virtual environment here. I'll explain that later. That all looks good. You can just create it. Okay. This is the code that comes with it. We're just gonna delete all. We're just gonna delete this and delete that. And we're gonna tie up stuff, right? So the first thing we need is Pygame. Because we're using virtual environment, the packages, there's no package installed in this environment. At least that's the way I think it all works. I could be wrong on that one. I know each environment is set up for a different project, so even if you install it, it shouldn't be in that environment, right? So the way we're gonna do is we're gonna go in Python packages, and we're gonna look for Pygame. We're gonna install Pygame. That shouldn't take too long. Okay, so once Pygame is installed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into here and create another Python file named, and this is the hard part of coding, naming things. We're gonna call a config for now. So we're gonna set our Pygame configuration into this file. So we're gonna import Pygame, and we're gonna import Pygame locals. We're gonna import so we're gonna import a few extra configurations from Pygame so we can set up the environment proper. We're gonna create a few variables here. One of them is running, which is to run the game. We're gonna set the FPS to 60. Resolution to a double, which I'm gonna use 800. Sorry, 120 by 800. And we're gonna set this flags here, which is to help the Pygame engine to run a bit faster. And we're gonna set one as no frame as well, so it won't have a frame. And then we're gonna play along with that in later YouTube videos. So for now, we're gonna call hsurface, which is to, if I remember correctly, is to draw from video memory. Double buff. No frame. And I think that's it. Yeah, hsurface. Actually, let's have a look. So I think hsurface is, yeah, just to speed things up. I'm checking it on Stack Overflow. That's where we go when we don't know shit. So speed things up from drawing from hardware memory, from, sorry, your video card basically. And then double buff is just to, yeah, applies all the Pygame draw routines from once it's all done. I probably didn't explain that very well, to be fair. So double buffering, as the description of the tag mentions, is using a separate block of memory to apply all the draw routines and then copying that block, the buffer, to memory as a single operation. That is better. Right, once we got all that done, it's gonna minimize the screen here. We're gonna start Pygame. Oops. So Pygame dot new. Yep. And then we're gonna use this screen size here to get, this is to get our monitor screen resolution, right? So I'm using 1900 by 1200, and that should get that correctly when Pygame starts. So if you do Pygame the display the info, you should get it correctly. We can test that later and make sure that is working right. Then we're gonna set the screens, no, not the screen, the screen to Pygame display the set mode, and we're going to pass that resolution tuple, and we're going to pass the flags as well. Right, so what this is doing is just creating the Pygame screen and setting that resolution to the resolution set here, and there's flags to help speed things up. Then we're going to set a clock, which is for the FPS later on. So Pygame.time.clock, boom boom, and I think that's it. We cannot run yet, sorry. So we're going to keep on this config file all the Pygame information, and we're going to make sure that things are a bit more organized and clear to see, right? So how most people do, they usually put all this stuff in the same file, and it becomes like really hard to read. There's a lot of like code noise, and I personally don't like that. I think it's better when you seclude things, you put things in their own file. This might not be the most optional. You know, I'm not entirely sure how things working with like having things in different files, but it does work, and I just find it easier to see. So if you go here, you can go import config, right? And then we're going to create a main function, and we're going to run that. So okay, so we've got our main function here, and we're going to do all the Pygame fun stuff in here. So let me have a look. So if we call while, remember we got the running in the config. So while running, set that to true. So while that is true, and then we're gonna call the events, right? So another thing I like to do is have the events either in their own file. So we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna go in here and create a new file for events. So if we go events, oh, what have I done? Oh, I think I created that into the wrong folder. Just move that, refactor, all good. And we're gonna, so here what we're gonna do, we're gonna import config as well. Right, we're gonna create an event method, and we're gonna call the loop that most people know for event in config, which is where our Pygame stuff is. Pygame.event.get. We're gonna check it, the events then. So the normal event is the closing one. So if event.type equals Pygame.quit, then we config running equals false, right? Is import Pygame here? Can just do Pygame. There you go. That should be fine. So if we go back into the main here, we can do from, you know, what should I do? I do apologize. Let's reorganize this again. So if I go here and do directory, so we'll do client and do another directory, sorry. We do that, right? We're not gonna do that now, but we're just gonna have things organized here. So if I go main events and config and just move that to client, right? I hope he does it right. So it seems to be fine. So from client dot events, import events, right? And we're gonna do events here. Cool. So this should be working. So if I run here, you can see the screen is working, right? So because we set in no border, there isn't like a Windows border like this with a button to open close. And we cannot resize it. Okay, we're gonna obviously change all that later, But for now, we're gonna keep like this because then we can create our own border here and change the UI the way we want and do whatever we want. Just gonna let people know I'm terrible with design, so it's gonna be by trial or fire. But you know, we're gonna do it together, and then I'm sure people are gonna give tips and help me do it better. For now, because we removed the top bar here, we cannot even close, so we have to close to here. So what I'm gonna do is, don't worry about that. It's just because I closed through the pie chart here. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go in events. I'm gonna just remove that. So if I press escape bar, so ask, we're gonna quit. So I'll probably keep that running file. So you're just gonna change this to event type equals Pygame dot. Oh no, that's gonna get annoying very soon. Pygame dot t down. Right, if event key, the key we pressed equals config dot Pygame. Oh gosh, Pygame dot key escape. Then we're gonna close it. Okay, so if we run again, press ask now, close fine, right? Another thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna color the main screen so it's not black. So let me just double check how to do that because I also don't remember most things. So if you go screen dot fill, I'm gonna do gray then. So 120. Sorry, you requested tuple, right? So tuple 3 colors RGB. So 120, 120, 120. That should be fine. And it's not fine. That's because I'm not calling the display right. So I'm coloring the screen, but I'm not updating it. So it probably just colors once and then goes black again. So what we have to do is we have to make sure we're calling Pygame config render or something like that. I think it's config.pygame display. I think that's on. There we go. So you see, it starts black because Pygame is just initializing and then colors to gray and then it keeps rendering gray. Or no, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm just doing once and then not doing it again. Have to check that. Okay, cool. I think for today that's it. Obviously we haven't done much yet. We just literally make sure things are, you know, in their own space. What we're gonna do next is probably create different components for the game. So we have like to create buttons, labels, you know, input buttons, all that stuff. So panels and shit. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna, not in this video but in the next videos, we're probably gonna go through all the components, and once we got the components then we're gonna start making scenes, and then once we got the scenes we start, you know, making the game. So probably now it's just a lot of boilerplate, but it's just stuff that it's nice to know and to understand where it comes from and how it all works, right? If anyone's got any questions, I think you're more than welcome to just post and ask, and I'll probably try to answer from the best of my capabilities. Yeah, I know it's not very long, short video, but just so we can get things started. Also, I'll probably gonna start uploading to Git so people can just like copy it and you have fun. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you next time. That's me.